My name is Jasdeep Singh, and I will be the host and moderator for today's session. The mission of the Sikh Research Institute is to provide educational resources to Sikhs to lead a Guru inspired life. Sikhri is an inclusive resource for you, your family, your community, and 25 million Sikhs worldwide for educational programming, strategic solutions, and Gurmukhi content. I'd also like to introduce our presenter today, Navi Singh. As a child, Navi learned to express herself through paint at the prestigious S.J. Thakur Singh School of Fine Arts in Amritsar, India. After 3 decades of motherhood and a career, the brushes beckoned again, and for the last 15 years, she has honed her skills at the Woodmere, Cheltenham, and the Abington Art Centers in Pennsylvania. Her first exhibit in 2006, titled My Sikh Heritage, was based on the parables of the Sikh Gurus. Her present collection, the Raagas and I, is an 8-year journey inspired by the ragas of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. She received her medical degree from the Medical College Amritsar and migrated to the USA 4 decades ago. She has retired from clinical practice of neurology and currently is a consultant to the federal government. Her inspiration is to continue her soulful journey and express through her medium of art as willed by the divine. And so, without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to Navi Singh to begin today's presentation.
Thank you so much, Jasdeep ji, and thank you to Sikh Heritage for giving me this opportunity. I'm thrilled to be able to share my 8-year journey into the making of my current series, Ragas and I, the Ragas of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji. It is a collection of 31 paintings, each representing one rag. I have often wondered about my audacity 8 years ago to ever think that this series could be completed. So I believe it is only with my Guru's grace that I have completed it in its present form. And I share this work with all of you with a great sense of humility as well as gratitude to my Guru. This is a series about my journey into my faith to try to find greater meaning for myself, to begin to feel within and then express through my paints. What I realized is that this process is a very dynamic one that has continued to evolve along the way. And in some ways, I feel that my journey has just begun. So some thoughts about the making of the series. The medium is water mixable oil paints on canvas. There is no physical appearance of the Gurus in the paintings. This is as a mark of my respect. In each painting, my effort was to try to depict what moved me about the rag, whether it was a group of shabads or just a line from a composing the paintings, I tried to give consideration to the ideal time or the season for reciting each rag. If there was any particular association of the rag, I tried to incorporate that into the painting as well. So together, these several factors helped to determine the style and the substance of each of my paintings. Therefore, you will notice that there is no recurring pattern or one particular style that flows through the series. Each piece is unique unto itself. Since the discussion is in English, the reference to Gurbani will also be in English. So let's start.
Angie, are you speaking? Because we lost you.
No, I'm ready to speak now. Raga
Okay.
Todi. Ambrosial nectar brings radiance. Serenity of mind is in Nam. Meditate. Rag Gauri is an evening raga. The Sukhmani Sab is composed by Guru Arjan Dev Ji in this rag. It was done at Gurdwara Ramsar in Amritsar. Ang 262, Guru Arjan Dev Ji tells us, Sukhmani, the peace of mind, the nectar of the name of God, the minds of the devotees abide in joyful bliss. Pause. So let's look at the painting. Can you see the painting on the screen?
We can.
Jasdeep?
Yes.
So let's look at the painting. You will notice the leaves at the bottom of the painting, the lower part of the painting, they are dull as if they are withering and falling away, or having lived in vain without the life-giving nectar. Or let me say, without the blessing of Nam, lives lived in vain wither away. Now, see the pair of leaves in the center. They are bright, radiant, so colorful. They are eager to receive the drop of the life-giving nectar, Amrit. These radiant leaves are suggestive of those souls who are blessed with the nectar of Nam, spiritually awakened. They are radiant. These are the true devotees whose minds abide in joyful bliss. Rag Asa. The ideal time to recite this rag is in the pre-dawn hours. Asa Divar is composed in this rag, and it gives guidance on how to transform our lives. I would like to share that this painting came together in a space of stillness of mind. My art class was over, and I asked to stay in the studio because I felt I was in the zone. I continued as if one with my paints, and this is how the painting came together in that space of quiet, of being one with my paints. So let's see the painting. At the bottom are the 5 knurly roots. You notice these represent lust, anger, greed, worldly attachment, and ego. These are out of control within me. These knurly roots bind me down. Rising above the roots on each side of the stem are 2 leaves, not very distinct. In fact, these 2 leaves melt into the background. This is suggestive of surrender, as if surrendering of the sense of separateness, the surrendering of the me and mine, of understanding, of being one with the creation. So the leaves suggestive of surrendering. And rising above is the beautiful, pure intent flower that rises to the divine. This is the process of transformation of human life. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Ang 462, says, I must sacrifice to my Guru 100 times a day, for he made angels out of men without delay. From the knurly roots to the flower of pure intention rising to the divine. Rag Gujri. Existential angst, Guru guides me. Reflect within. Without Guru, there is no emancipation. Rag Gujri is historically an old raga that was used to sing devotional hymns. And the ideal time to recite this rag is in the rainy season and in the early morning hours. Guru Arjan Dev Ji asks us to reflect. Ang 495. I have searched all Shastras, Vedas, and Simritis. They all affirm one thing. Without a Guru, there is no liberation. Reflect this in your mind. Vicharu. So the Guru asks us to reflect upon the guidance given. So how do I reflect? I'm surrounded by distractions all around me. To be able to reflect, I must be able to get to a quiet place within. So how can I turn my attention inwards? The inspiration for this painting came from a shell that is curling upon itself as if it's going further and further inwards, of nature giving inspiration. Rag Devgandhar. Wandering through forests, over hills, across river and up mountains, my journey arduous, yet I seek your blessed vision. The ideal time to perform this rag is the morning time. Devgandhari is an ancient rag. Guru Ram Das Ji in Ang 527 says, I wander here and there, bewildered like a mad person looking for my Lord. And later he adds, now exhausted, I have come and surrendered to you, seeking your sanctuary. So let me share my thoughts on this painting. For this one, I was guided by the exhausting effort looking for the Lord. This painting is a metaphor for the tremendous effort that the mind must undertake in the journey to the Guru. To show this in physical terms, I thought of the trees, going past the trees and into the forest and over the hills and across the river and up the mountain with sharply rising peaks. This exhausting physical effort is the metaphor for the arduous, challenging journey of the mind in search of the Lord. The source of the light is on the other side of the mountain, suggesting that the effort has to be made first, and then, with God's grace, be blessed with divine vision. Rag Sorat. Clouds of darkness surround me. With faith in your mercy, the clouds of doubt disperse. There is clarity. This rag is ideally recited in the cold season and in the first part of the night. Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Ang 615, says, the perfect Guru has dispelled my doubt. Remember God in loving devotion. The perfect Guru has dispelled my doubt. This line touched me. My mind was lost in darkness of doubt, in turmoil of worry, and is as if I have been overcome by the thick, dark clouds of doubt. The Guru's words are the clearing in the center of the painting, which is the perfectly clear cerulean blue sky with white and silver stars, and as if receding away from the center towards the edges of the painting. Receding in a somewhat stylized way are the thick clouds of illusion. These are the receding clouds suggesting my abating doubts. And then with faith, there is more clarity. Where there is faith, doubt cannot remain. Rag Jaitsri. I sit with myself, Udas. Your divine guidance is my boat, ferry me across. The ideal time to recite this rag is in the evening hours. Guru Arjan Dev Ji guides us on 701. The company of the holy is like a boat to ferry me across the world ocean. Also followed by, I cross the world ocean when I come in the company of the holy. So let me share my thoughts about this painting. The evening time sky above, a solitary figure sits in the boat. The boat is white, suggesting my Guru's pure guidance, and in this boat of the Guru's guidance, I can safely cross over. For me, it is a hopeful scene. It's evening time. The shore is near. There is the possibility of making it ashore before nightfall, the nightfall of my life, that is, of crossing the world ocean before life's end. I also wanted to share my perspective that for each one of us, the journey to the Guru is a solitary journey, for each one individually, thus the solitary figure in the boat. Raga Todi. Life's long road, challenges, distractions along the way. Grant me courage to stay the path, reach you. The ideal time to recite this rag is in the morning hours. Guru Arjan Dev Ji on 713 says, know that power, wealth, and pleasure are like shadows of trees. Running after them in different directions, these pursuits are useless. Except for the Lord's name, everything is transient. Followed by, I have searched for your blessed vision, looking everywhere. This is about a path through the forest. I feel I'm lost in this forest of worldly distractions, lost in the world of power, wealth, and pleasure. These thoughts surround me like the trees in the forest. But there is also a path in the forest. The path is the Guru's guidance, and I ask for the courage to stay in faith, to stay on the path, and stay in devotion. That you will notice light at the far side of the trees, suggestive of divine light. Rag Tilang. At your doorstep, so near, yet so far, I beg to be in your divine light. Bless me. Rag Tilang is an afternoon raga. Guru Nanak Dev Ji on 721 says, I am so hungry for your blessed vision. I beg at your door day after day. And followed by, I am a beggar at your door. Please bless me with your charity. So this painting was my effort to visualize, to imagine being at the door of the divine, being hungry for the blessed vision. At this beautiful door, it is a hopeful scene for me, since the door is partly open. Hopeful because of the possibility that my prayer will be heard. The bright light on the other side of the door suggests divine light. Rag Bilawal. Spring arrives, flowers bloom, the streams flow once again, peaceful, perfect symphony. Bilawal means delight. It is a springtime raga for the morning hours. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Ang 795, please bless me with such understanding that I may sing your glorious praises. May I dwell in truth according to your will. This is actually the first Shabad of Rag Bilawal and is also part of the Shabad Hazare that we recite so frequently. Delightful spring, a time of renewal. So that's what I wanted to show. A clear sunrise on a spring morning. Nature comes alive once again. The birds sing, the flowers bloom, the stream flows again, and a woman plays the string instrument together, a perfect harmony, a perfect symphony, renewed with the understanding to be in your will, to sing your praises. Rag Gond, search within for the jewel of the divine spirit. The ideal season to recite this rag is in the winter time. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Ang 868, meeting with the true Guru and singing the Lord's praises, I have found an incomprehensible treasure. So for this painting, the inspiration is from nature again. The seashell holds its precious pearl within it, realizing that each one of us has a precious and divine treasure within us. This is the blessing. Rag Ramkali. Sunrise, the dawn of knowledge, Gyan. Guru Nanak enlightens the learned ones. So, Rag Ramkali is a springtime rag for the morning hours, and this raga is associated with the yogis. Siddh Ghosh is composed in this rag by Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says on Ang 840, he alone is a yogi who realizes the word of the Guru's Shabad. And again, Ang 878, he alone is a Siddha who meditates on the one perfect Lord. So this is a scene of a sunrise in the mountains. The snow-clad peaks are in the distance, and in the foreground, the yogis have gathered together as if to receive Guru Gyan. There is no physical appearance of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the painting. The rays of the rising sun are the Guru Gyan that is Guru Nanak. So metaphorically, the sun represents Guru Nanak in this painting. Rag Nat Narayan. You are my guardian. You are my shield. Save my honor. Protect me from the 5 thieves within. The ideal time to recite this rag is in the evenings. Guru Ram Das Ji asks for the Lord's Lord's protection, Ang 975, the five evils rage within. Please have mercy on me. Nanak has come to your sanctuary. Save me, preserve my honor. So for this painting, my thoughts were seeking the Lord's protection. Is there a war raging within? Yes, I think the biggest battles are those that are waged within us. This war is with the five evils within that are out of control. The shield is the Lord giving me protection, the arrows meant to subdue the five evils. And the choice of color of the background was a battle scene in the evening. Rag Malipura. Realization. Your divine presence resides with me. Fear melts. My spirit blooms. The ideal time to recite this rag is in the afternoon. Guru Ram Das Ji says on 985, my heart lotus has bloomed forth. I have found my Guru. Meditating on the Guru, my doubts and fears have gone away. Followed by, seeing the saints, my heart lotus has bloomed. So intuitively, this painting was to be about the lotus blooming. The Guru guides about living a life that is God conscious versus a world conscious life. Because when I live for the world, I live in fear. Meditating on the Guru and realizing the presence of the divine within me at all times, realizing that I am never alone. It is then that my fear melts, that I can lead my best life. This is the glow that emanates from within the lotus. So I hope you can notice the glow that's emanating from within the lotus, the realization of the divine within. Fear melts, my spirit blooms. Rag Tukhari, the rainbird cries, without you my thirst is not quenched, and I beg for the nectar of Nam. Rag Tukhari is a winter time raga. The word Tushar means frost. Guru Ram Das Ji, Ang 1113, Guruji refers to the rainbird cries as Priyu, Priyu, O beloved, the rainbird cries day and night, my thirst is not quenched without you. For this painting, I have a personal story that I would like to share. My dad, a physician, a teacher, who had an eye for all things artistic, on his visits would check out and critique the additions I had made to the series. So for this rag, I had painted a totally different composition. I shared with him how I was challenged by the forest scene, the source of light, the bird itself. He listened and then, encouraging me, said that if I was not satisfied with this, why don't I start afresh? And so I did. So this is a redo, but sadly, Dad was not there to see the redo. But each time I look at it, I am reminded of his gentle encouragement. So the process of making this painting was a more personal one, but let's look at the painting itself. The rainbird in flight, trying to place itself strategically so as to receive the drop of rain. the light source is from above and is also the source of the raindrop. The thirst of the raindrop inspires the thirst for none. Raga Kedara. When will the night pass? The partridge waits for dawn. I'm weary of the darkness within. Bless me with your divine light. Raga Kedara is associated with the partridge and the full moon, and it is considered auspicious to recite this rag during the full moon. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Ang 1122, when will the night pass? Asks the chickpea bird. I will find peace only when the rays of the sun shine on me. So in composing this painting, I wanted to incorporate those things that were associated with the rag, the full moon and the partridge. That you will see at the bottom of the painting is the silhouette of the chickpea, as if it is looking at the moon and asking, when will the night pass? When will the sun shine again? And in the sky, birds in flight returning to their nests, the full moon is framed by the branches and holds its place in the center of the painting. Rag Bhairav, one clay, countless forms, one creator, endless creations, all your play. The autumn is the ideal time to recite this rag. Guru Amar Das Ji says on Ang 1128, the entire universe is made of the same clay. The potter Lord has shaped us into all sorts of vessels, the five elements coming together to form humans. Who can say which is less and which is more? We're all created from the same cosmic clay. So intuitively, again, this had to be about pots. So vessels of varying sizes, shapes, colors, but it's all the same cosmic clay that we are made of. And Sikhi teaches us this deep sense of brotherhood of man, which is so relevant today. Rag Sarang, one by one, each one merges into the infinite one. Rag Sarang is an afternoon raga. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says on Ang 1220, we shall merge again into the one from whom we came. He is the essence of being. So I tried to show a small part merging into the whole, the finite droplets of water merging into the infinite ocean. Rag Kanha. The fisherman's net overpowers the fish. I plead, give me strength to control the vices within. The ideal time to recite Rag Kanara is in the evening hours. This rag has its origins in southern India. Guru Ram Das Ji says on 1294, the mind roams and rambles in all directions. Meeting the holy, the mind is brought under control. Then Guruji gives the example. Just as the fisherman spreads his net over the water and he overpowers and catches the fish, meeting the holy, the mind is brought under control. So for this painting, the 5 fish represent the 5 vices within: lust, anger, greed, worldly attachment, and ego. Just as the fisherman's net catches the fish, in the same way the net of good company subdues and controls these vices within us. The curling waters around the fish suggest a struggle. Like the fish, the vices within won't go away so easily, won't give up so quickly. The waves around the fish suggest this internal struggle before the vices can be brought under control. The Guru guides and the Guru gives us advice to consider the importance of good sangha. Rag Kalyan. As fish is one with the ocean, I beg, keep me always with you. Guru Ram Das Ji in Rag Kalyan, Ang 1325, begs, you are the ocean, I am your fish, please be kind, keep me always with you. So this painting is about a solitary fish in the water, seaweeds growing around. I wanted to share the thought that the journey to the Guru is a very individual and personal one. No parent, sibling, or child can help to save me. This is a journey that has to be traveled alone. I have come alone and I will depart alone. So therefore, I painted a solitary fish in this painting. Like the fish is one with the ocean, keep me with you, O Lord. Rag Prabhati. Spark of light radiates. All are the colors of your divine love. This is a morning raga. Bhagat Kabir Ji says on Ang 1349, first light was created, then the Lord made mortals. From one light the entire universe welled up. And Bhagat Ji asks, then who is to say who is good and who is bad? So in this painting, there is a central spark of light from which radiate all the colors of the rainbow on both directions, in both directions. Each of us, within us, has the divine, and each of us, who is to say who is good or bad? Who are we to judge? Again, a message of brotherhood in Rag Prabhati. Rag Jaijaiwanti. Transient are the pleasures and pain, like shifting dunes of sand. Meditate on the eternal truth. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's Bani is in Rag Jaijaiwanti. The ideal time to perform this rag is in the summertime. Ang 1352, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji asks us to understand that wealth is like a dream. Why are we so proud? Even the empires of the earth are like walls of sand. The body will perish moment by moment. Yesterday passed, today is passing as well. Meditate on the eternal truth. So the inspiration for this painting are the sand dunes that are here today, moved, gone tomorrow. It is a great analogy for the transient nature of our existence. This painting came together fairly quickly for me. I was in class, I set out my paints and canvas and brushes, and in a few hours it came together. Perhaps I was in the zone, or was it that I was thinking about the Guru's words? But there it was, at the end of class, the composition was together. The Guru wants me to reflect, why am I so proud of the worldly goods, of my worldly achievements? Moment by moment, a whole life is past. This world is an illusion, and nothing is going to go with me, only the Naam. So meditate on the eternal truth. Thank you. This is my presentation for today. Jasdeepji. Hello.
Hanji Benji.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you for this opportunity, Jasdeepji.
No problems. We're still. I know I didn't want to interrupt you when you were speaking, but somebody did ask if they could share or save the pictures through a screenshot while you were giving the presentation, but I couldn't disturb you while the presentation was going on. So maybe that's something you can answer, if people can or not, or maybe give a little bit of. Or maybe tell us a little bit about these paintings as to where they are, and are they being displayed today somewhere?
They are on a wall in my kitchen. And so I have often said that I am in love when I am in my kitchen. And actually, I'm giving you this presentation also from my kitchen, surrounded by these paintings. So all 31 of them hang on two walls in the kitchen. And it is always very inspiring for me to look at them and think about what it was that made me want to paint that subject in that. And so far, there has been no exhibit. I have not sought that because, to be very honest, this has been a very personal journey. So it wasn't about showing it. It was more about feeling it. This is the first presentation that I have given.
And we thank you for that. Regarding the work that you still may be continuing, is there anything that you are doing today to maybe continue on these paintings, or is that something that was a project that is finished now?
Well, I think once you're on this journey, you're never really finished.
Right.
It is an ongoing process, as I said in my introductory remarks, that it's evolved as I've gone through this process. And it's going to be a lifelong process, and I'm certainly hoping that it will be. My next thoughts, and I'm composing 2 or 3 more paintings. They are not to do with the ragas, but they are to do with the shabads, or just a inspirational scene relating as it relates to my religion, as it relates to Sikhi. So that is where I intend to continue to move towards.
Okay, that's good to know. At this point in time, I don't have any questions, but we'll wait maybe a minute. And I'd like to encourage anybody who has questions to please go ahead and ask them. I do have one question show up, and the question is from Navi Singh. The question is there a book that you can suggest which associated rags with the time of the day or season, or the research that you may have done with all the rags, and when is a good time to recite those rags?
There was no book, but this was research mostly through the internet, and in searching various sites to look for the ideal time. I also wanted to let Navi Singh know that there were some discrepancies in some of the timing or season. For example, Rag Jaijaiwanti, in one place it's a summertime rag, and then in another place it's a rainy season rag, or it can be all year round rag, but ideally performed at such and such a time. So it wasn't very consistent throughout, but most of it was pretty straightforward, and it is from the internet. Just look up the rag, and it'll tell you what's the right time, or the ideal time.
Thank you. We're still awaiting more questions, so we'll give it another maybe 30 seconds or so. And then, okay, we do have one question from Arvinder Sahans. And the question is, through your research, have you come across why the Gurus chose these certain rags, or what they were used before it was in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji? If so, can you please tell us the site, or maybe the research that you've done?
Many of these were rags that already existed. For example, Rag Devgandhari, very old rag. Sri Rag is very old rag. Sri Rag, for example, was used for religious Hindu occasions. So, and Rag Maj, for example, is a rag that is from the folk tunes of the Majha region of Punjab, and is just in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And so there are many of these rags existed before, but for example, Rag Maj was taken from the folk tunes of the Majha area. That's why it's called Rag Maj. But again, I would refer you back to the internet for looking up the various rags, how long they've existed, or in what forms they have changed, or in either in their the tal or the aro and avro. Aro is the ascending notes, and avro is the descending notes, and some of those have changed over time. I didn't go into that technical aspect in the discussion.
Okay. Give it just a little bit more time, and then we'll start to wrap this up. Okay. Thank you for attending today's webinar. And a big thank you to the presenter for sharing her research as well as her creations with us. Please be reminded that these webinars are provided for free, but there is a cost associated with its technology and administration. If you feel you have benefited from this particular webinar or others in the past, please consider making a donation to SICRI or becoming a webinar sponsor. More details can be obtained in a follow-up email you will receive or by emailing info@sicri.org. As I end the webinar, I'll again like to thank the presenter and the audience for coming today and to remind everyone to wait a few seconds for the link to appear to a follow-up survey. Your feedback is extremely important to Sikh Research Institute and we appreciate your time. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa